Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the other side of the corner. Welcome to your latest Chelsea news. So much is floating about. We got to talk about as much as we can. We can't cover everything. We're going to try and keep all of that for another video. But this individual, Jamie Carragher, ladies and gentlemen, this guy, I mean, I don't know what is smoking up, but it is something that is doing damage to his brain cells. He is still adamant that there is no shame in being behind Declan Rice. He's talking about Moses Caicedo. He appreciates Moses Caicedo. He thinks he's one of the best in the world, of course, but he still believes he's behind Declan Rice in terms of, I guess, quality, which is mad. So let's kick things off here, and we've got a whole heap of other news that we need to, keep in touch of. So let's go from here. All right. First up, Jamie Carragher on Caicedo. I upset Chelsea fans, not for the first time, by saying Declan Rice was just ahead of this man, Caicedo. There's no shame in being behind Rice in my eyes. There's no shame. In fact, there is. At this moment, there is. Moses Caicedo right now has no competitors. There is not a single thing Caicedo can't do right now. Caicedo is getting into conversations with N'Golo Kante, who is an absolute legend of the football club for Chelsea, but not just that, he's an absolute legend of the Premier League. N'Golo Kante needs to be inducted in the Hall of Fame of the Premier League very, very soon. Declan Rice, don't get me wrong, he's a very good player. I'm not taking anything away from Declan Rice, but if anything, Declan Rice should have no shame in being behind Moses Caicedo. Moses Caicedo right now, ladies and gentlemen, the goal that we scored against Spurs, Caicedo was an absolute unleashed animal. The amount of people he pressed and won duels against in that one sequence of play, and then delivering the assist for João Pedro, it was mad. But he does this on a regular. Caicedo on and off the ball is just far superior. Passing, much superior to Declan Rice. Long-range shots, yeah, you can say, okay, shooting, fine. Set pieces, fair enough. Declan Rice is probably a far better set-piece taker because Caicedo doesn't take set pieces. But in terms of covering ground, in terms of interception, in terms of footballing IQ, he is 100% ahead of Declan Rice. And Declan Rice is the one where Jamie Carragher should be saying, should have no shame in being behind someone like Moses Caicedo. At this point, it has to be English bias. It has to be, because I don't see it any other way. They're both absolutely fantastic, but right now we are watching two of the best midfielders in the world. In world football, there's no doubt about that. Look, as I keep repeating, Declan Rice is a very, very good player. No problems, no qualms about that. But Moses Caicedo, he's at a different level altogether. Enzo Maresca came out publicly saying the two best holding midfielders right now is Moses Caicedo and Rodri. And Rodri, obviously, since he got injured, has not been the same at the moment. And I think he's still injured. Right now, for me, Moses Caicedo, forget about midfield. I'm going to go as far as saying he's probably one of the best players in the world. Scoring goals, assisting, he's passing. Don't forget some of the passes he played last season through the middle to release Nicholas Jackson. This guy is in a different level, and I don't know why Jamie Carragher finds it difficult. He's obviously got something against Chelsea Football Club, and it doesn't help the fact that Liverpool in recent times have picked up so many losses. It doesn't sit well with him. He's, of course, got something against Chelsea. There's no two ways about that. Jamie Carragher and Moses Caicedo, and this is the funny part. So he said what he said, and then he also said this about Moses Caicedo in regards to the match against Spurs. This was one of those goals when it's not about the goal scorer. It's all about Caicedo. He's an absolute monster in midfield. He makes the challenge after challenge and basically gets Chelsea that goal. So we all know the sequence of play that took place. Caicedo absolutely destroyed Spurs single-handedly, pressed 3-4 players, and then delivering that pass as well for the João Pedro goal. And our man Jamie Carragher, he realizes that it's not about the goal scorer here. It's about the guy who won all the duels. Honestly speaking, I don't think I've ever seen Declan Rice be able to do that across many players. Once again, Not taking anything away from Declan Rice, but he's just simply not at Moses Caicedo's level. Moses Caicedo, I think, by the way, it's his birthday. Happy birthday, Moses Caicedo. I think I need to show my best in these kind of games because my role is very important when we play against big teams. So I did my best to help the team. This award is for my teammates, my family, because my family are always with me, supporting me. So it's for them. I love the fact he's so humble as well, Moses Caicedo. I hope, honestly, I pray, sincerely pray that he stays with Chelsea Football Club forever, becomes a legend. He creates a legacy, wins Premier League trophies multiple times, wins Champions Leagues as well, and he cements his position as one of the greatest players that Chelsea has ever bought, and has ever played for Chelsea Football Club. Sensational for me. Look, he's £250 million player. He's a £250 million player right now, and testament to him. No one talks about his price tag anymore. That's when you know that he's been an absolute banger. He's been a hit. He's been a hit when no one talks about that high transfer fee. If anything, it kind of looks like a bargain right now. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know your thoughts. Well, how do you feel about Jamie Carragher's comments in regards to Moses Caicedo? Should he be behind Declan Rice? I mean, is that where we are right now? For me, that is absolutely blasphemous. Honestly, it's ludicrous. Now, Steve Nicol on Spurs versus Chelsea. At no stage ever did Spurs look as though they are going to get close to the goal, never mind score a goal. I mean, these two sides, if you look at the table, are pretty close, but they're actually not in terms where they are. This is what a lot of people have been saying recently, is stop talking down about Spurs. They're ahead of us. Honestly speaking, I don't know how they're ahead of us. I really don't know. I've watched quite a few, not heaps, but a few Spurs matches. Not once have I been impressed by them. Not once. This is why I say that loss against Sunderland for us, so uncharacteristic, man. We were on a 4-match winning streak. We should have beaten Sunderland. We should have beaten Brentford, giving away that silly goal right at the end. And that's 6 points right there. And we would have been so much closer to Arsenal right now. Not to forget the shenanigans that we put up against Man United and Brighton. Problem with us is we've not been consistent. It's not that we've not been good. We've shown good football. 45 minutes there. Showed a really good football 90 minutes against Liverpool, and now against Tottenham. Probably one of our best performances as well. We've shown that we have the quality. This is why I keep saying we should be competing for the Premier League title. We should be. But for some reason, Spurs jamming their way and doing all of these nonsense stuff that Arsenal are doing, set-piece goals, this, that, the other, it's unsustainable. And they're not even that great at it. Arsenal are actually monsters at it. Spurs are not even that good at it. So for me, look, let a few more weeks go and we'll see exactly where Spurs are going to be, considering the kind of fixtures that are coming as well for Spurs, which look mad. Andre Santos, ladies and gentlemen, had something very, very interesting to say. We have to move step by step. Our squad has great players, and that's essential for a long season with so many competitions. Competing with these players every day makes me better. Our daily work is high level, and we try to bring that into the matches. I love this. I love this from Andre Santos. We do have a lot of talented youngsters, a lot of talented players. Not just youngsters, we've got quite a few experienced players as well. Don't worry about the age, but they've played a lot of games at the highest level. And it's good when all of these players are together, their levels are increasing. I'm sure they're training hard. Hopefully, they have to be. And it's only going to elevate them even more. I love this from Andre Santos. And he's going to be one of those up-and-coming players for us, at Chelsea Football Club in the future. Already, he's showing his quality. And he has at Strasbourg. But I'm sure he's going to get better and better and better. Estevao Willian, Gittins, all of these players will get better and better. And, this is why I keep repeating. I believe in this squad, man. I really do. Along with all the experienced players that we have, we should be doing far better. And this is why I've been critical in recent times in regards to Enzo Maresca, that you've got the squad. It's just a matter of now getting them to play like this on a consistent basis. Getting them to be more disciplined and not picking up silly red cards. Next up, former Manchester United chief scout Mick Brown on Marc Guiu. The thing is with Chelsea, there are so many players on their books. As a young player, you have to be playing games. That's the most important thing. A move back to Sunderland would make a lot of sense, of course, because he's already agreed terms when he made that move in the summer. I'm sure they will also be keen to get it done because there's a reason they wanted him before. Look, I personally don't want him to leave anymore. With all the injuries that happens to us, I'd rather he stay with us. I know it's going to cause a bit of a problem now that Delap is back. What happens, because Delap is most likely going to play as number 9. João Pedro just in behind. Cole Palmer still injured. When Cole Palmer comes back, it's going to get complex again. I'd rather Guiu stay with us. Yes, it's going to be difficult if he doesn't leave and everyone comes back from injury. Does Marc Guiu get an opportunity in the bench? Because you have to give many other players. Someone's always going to miss out. But I feel like Marc Guiu stay with Chelsea Football Club right now because we don't know how this season's going to pan out. Players getting injured, this, that, the other. I'd rather him stay. And I think there's a good future with Marc Guiu as well. I think there's a talented player there too. But of course, I understand he needs minutes. I get it. He 100% needs minutes. And if Delap continues to be a bit of an idiot the way he was picking up that red card against Wolves, well, then Marc Guiu is someone that we definitely have to rely on. But at the same time, look, if he does end up going on loan in January because he needs to get more minutes, and he can only go back to Sunderland. He can't go back to another club. He can only play for 2 clubs in a season. Can't play for 3. Will Sunderland utilize him? Sunderland are a strong team, man, this season. We'll see how the season pans out. But will they utilize him as well? It's not about just sending him back to Sunderland. Will he get minutes? But I think minutes at Chelsea Football Club are going to be scarce as well. But I feel like stay here, understand the game with, under Enzo Maresca, get to know your teammates, and maybe you might get a breakthrough at Chelsea Football Club. We'll see. Let me know your thoughts, ladies and gentlemen, in the comment section about Marc Guiu. Where do you see the future for Guiu? Next up, ladies and gentlemen, Chelsea head coach Enzo Maresca on captain Rece James in midfield. I think today we needed a little bit more physicality in the middle. We expected them to play with Sarr, Pelinia, and Bentancur. It depends a little bit on the game plan. Rece is doing fantastic in midfield and fullback, and in terms of leadership in the changing room. Look, Rece James is a boss. But I have to say, as well as he's done in midfield, I'd rather see Romeo Lavia, Andre Santos, along with Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez. I've got nothing against Rece James. I get what Enzo Maresca is trying to say in terms of physicality, but I like to see Rece James play as a right back again and provide that attacking threat. Goals, assists, because Rece James from those positions can deliver some fantastic crosses, can even get into goal involvement, goal scoring involvement as well. But I get it. We've been managing him. We don't want him to bomb up and down, but he doesn't have to bomb up and down like that. Playing as a right back, he can play as an RCB. He can pick and choose when he wants to bomb forward and help out in attack. Every now and then, I understand Enzo Maresca saying it's game plan. Depends a little bit on the game plan. I get that. Sometimes maybe you might want to use Rece James in midfield, but I feel like when you have players like Lavia and Andre Santos, you don't necessarily need to do that. And I also understand Romeo Lavia may not be able to play every single game because of his injury problems as well. But my thing is Rece James from the right back position is something else completely. He's an absolute beast. This is what we used to call him, Beast James. Do you remember that nickname? So yeah, let's see what happens in the future. But I think every now and then we might see him play in midfield. But the big thing is we are getting to see Rece James play more often, and it's needed. He's the captain, he's the leader, and it's essential for the team that he plays as much as he can. Last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, some of the Chelsea players mocking Spurs post-match. Quite a few players, but I've picked up Romeo Lavia. Romeo Lavia put this up on Instagram. Look at the location, training ground, calling Spurs Stadium. And it is. We've beaten them so many times. This is why it's called 3-point lane. So I think someone commented saying change. I think initially he had the correct location, I think Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And then someone said, change the location. And then Romeo Lavia changed it to training ground. And then, of course, it is a bit of a training ground. This is Romeo Lavia again. He's checking back to see if there's someone behind. And why is that? Everyone walking on the streets tonight, please check your shoulders. Moy could be pressing you. And there's plenty of other players that have done similar sort of mockery. But look, all these fun and games are fine. Consistency is the most important thing. We've had a shocker against Sunderland. We should have beaten them at home as well. We've gone and we've beaten Tottenham Hotspur. Brilliant. Fantastic. But now the consistency. We need to go and beat Carragher in the Champions League. We need to go and take care of Wolves. Wolves, by the way, have sacked their manager. That's another news we probably should have covered, but maybe for another video. And I don't know whether they're going to have a manager ready by the time they face us next weekend. But nonetheless, we need to beat them. Cannot have any more of these hiccups. Teams that we need to beat, we have to beat. If we want to make something special out of this season, we need to take care of business. So all these fun and games, mockery and this, that, the other is fine, but we need to be far more consistent to ensure that we can regularly mock and banter others. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know your thoughts about everything we spoke about. Smash up the like button. If you're here for the first time, subscribe. Hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content and comment in regards to Jamie Carragher's comments for Moses Caicedo and having no shame in being behind Declan Rice in terms of quality right now. I find that absolutely blasphemous. Do you know what I mean? It's blasphemy of the highest order. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, take care. See ya.